shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
We have breaking news out of Franklinton this morning where a woman died in a house fire. What we're learning about what crews encountered when they got to that scene.
And tomorrow's a WRAL weather alert day due to the risk of flooding. I'll show you what time the rain is likely to start where you are.
And it's going to be a busy day on the roads as we enter Memorial Day weekend. Straight ahead, when you should avoid driving if you don't want to end up sitting in that traffic that we loathe when we take these road trips. I'm leaving tomorrow early.
Okay.
Early, that's my plan. So hopefully we'll find out if that's a good idea or not. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you along here. If you're watching right now, maybe you are getting ready to get out on the roads, and earlier the better, probably, unless you wait till later tonight. Elizabeth Gardner, though, with the other factor in this holiday weekend, our weather alert day tomorrow.
Traveling on Saturday is going to be pretty messy. It's going to be windy. It's going to be really wet and pretty chilly, too. It is a WRAL weather alert day. We'll see winds gusting 30 to 35 miles per hour, which will knock down some limbs, but shouldn't cause a lot of widespread damage. Rainy, though, with the flooding risk, as we're going to see heavy rain on and off for most of the day Saturday, and chilly, too, with highs upper 50s to low 60s. This is a look at our flooding risk. It's a medium risk here in yellow, and that includes a good chunk of our viewing area, especially from Raleigh southward. This is where we could see 2+ inches of rain. It's likely to be closer to 1.5 inches near the Virginia line. We take a look at futurecast for today. It's cloudy already, and those clouds will continue to stream in across the area through the day today. There's 5 o'clock today and 9 o'clock. Yesterday, there was some light rain that started to show up in our southern counties late afternoon, evening, but the models are a little slower with that today. So it's likely to come in early Saturday morning. It will be heavy at times. You can see the yellow and orange color contours. Sometimes that's a look at a line of strong to severe thunderstorms. Not the case for tomorrow. It's just going to be heavy rain, not looking at storms tomorrow. But boy, that rain's going to be with us all day and all night. But then backing off a little bit on Sunday, potentially with lesser amounts of rain. If we continue to see that trend, we may be able to knock down that chance of rain a little bit on Sunday. I still think that we'll see some scattered showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two late Sunday into Monday. In Wilson, of course, you can see the whirligigs really spinning around. The wind is going to be an issue starting today. Right now it's 57 degrees. We have a northeast wind at 9, but we'll be gusting up to 25 miles per hour this afternoon. And then, of course, it stays cool today with cloudy skies. Our highs will only be in the low 70s, but we do stay dry. Anthony?
And as we head out to the roads this morning, Elizabeth, looking great here on I-40 at this point. We did have that earlier crash, I-40 at Rock Quarry Road. That has since cleared. Things are looking pretty good here. Just a slight delay there, I-440 at US 1, or to US 1 rather. But otherwise here you see those greens showing up, which is great as we head into a holiday weekend. We do, though, have a crash to talk about, US 401 at Tryon Road. Those sensors, though, are still in the green, meaning everything is still moving along fairly smoothly. Heading up to the north, another crash to talk about, Lumley Road at Briar Creek Parkway. This is right next to 540 there, but everything here is looking pretty good. We will continue to watch it here, of course, on this busy holiday weekend.
Thanks, Anthony. We have breaking news we have learned in just the last 90 minutes. A woman is dead after a house fire in Franklin County. It happened on Harris Way near Franklinton. You see it here on this map. And WRAL's Keenan Willard has been at that home in the overnight hours, speaking closely with fire officials as they worked overnight. Keenan?
The Franklin County Sheriff's Office tells us 81-year-old Bertha Crudup died after being trapped in this home in Franklinton after it became engulfed in flames. The Sheriff's Office tells us they were called out here just before 10 o'clock last night, found flames coming out from the windows and doors of this home. They were able to kick through the front of the home and found Crudup lying on the floor, unable to walk, with severe injuries. They say that they dragged her out of the home and tried to perform CPR, but unfortunately the woman died from her injuries. A small dog that was also trapped inside also died from burn injuries. Now at this point they say that no foul play is suspected. They don't believe this fire was in any way intentionally set. But fire investigators are continuing to work to determine how exactly the fire started inside of this home. We did speak with a few of Crudup's relatives who were here on the scene. They declined to speak with us about this situation. Keenan Willard, WRAL News.
Well, prepare yourself. The roads are going to be packed today. This is a live look at I-40 at Airport Boulevard. Not too busy so far. WRAL's Nia Harden is live to tell us about the busiest travel day of the Memorial Day weekend and what we can expect to pay at the gas pump. Good morning, Nia.
Good morning. Well, you can see out here, we do have some folks out here, many of them likely going to work this morning. But as the morning continues, we do expect to see folks out here as they prepare to go on those trips. And today is going to be a day where we're going to see a lot of people on the road. AAA reporting this morning that the average gas price in our state is $3.30 per gallon. Now, if you are driving, AAA does suggest leaving in the morning before noon or any time after 6 o'clock tonight. The worst time to be on the road is going to be this afternoon between 3 and 6. While there will be a record high of people traveling, Gas Buddy says you shouldn't see a surge in gas prices. Drivers are cutting back and will spend $1.6 billion less on gasoline compared to this time last year.
Using things like cruise control and setting them down to 65 instead of 75 can also increase fuel efficiency 15 to 25%, which is the equivalent of saving 25 to 50 cents a gallon. So trying to avoid traffic is sometimes a better bet. Sometimes leaving sooner or maybe waiting for traffic to clear is also a good bet.
And if you're looking for the lowest gas prices, you can go to the WRAL News app. Just search the words fuel tracker. Naya Harden, WRAL News in Garner.
And unfortunately, increased travel on the roads means more car problems. AAA predicts it'll rescue more than 483,000 stranded drivers this weekend. That's across the nation. The three most common reasons are flat tires, dead batteries, and folks getting locked out of their cars.
Also, we can take a live look at RDU International Airport this morning. You know it's going to be another busy day there at the airport as people are hitting the sky for the holiday weekend. Travel is expected to be 20% higher than this time last year, with more than 225,000 people traveling between today and Tuesday. The TSA has a goal, on average, getting passengers through security in 30 minutes and pre-check in 10 minutes.
We're working to learn more about a mother who left her child at a store in Halifax County, then got into a serious crash. This happened in Halifax County near Roanoke Rapids just after 6 o'clock last night. Witnesses say the mother left her child at the Family Dollar on NC 48. She then got into a crash on nearby Lonnie B. Green Road. Authorities say she's in critical condition. The child is safe and with family. No charges have been filed.
Happening today, protesters will gather pushing back against North Carolina's new abortion law. The group will rally in Nash Square, including speakers, followed by a march. The Fight the NC Abortion Ban protest begins 7:30 tonight. GOP lawmakers recently overrode Governor Roy Cooper's veto on the ban that limits abortions at 12 weeks. North Carolina's previous ban was 20 weeks.
We're working to learn the identity of a woman that was killed in a crash with a dump truck on Lewisburg Road. Sky 5 flew over the scene of the crash yesterday. Police say the driver failed to yield when making a turn and turned in front of that dump truck. Highway Patrol confirmed to WRAL that a woman in her 20s died in that crash. And a woman who rushed to help after a serious crash in Apex says it was gut instinct. Megan O'Donnell was at work last Friday afternoon in Apex when she heard the loud crash outside on Shiflin Road. She rushed outside and found the driver and two passengers, including a baby, in need of help.
I grabbed the baby and did what I could do, held on to that sweet boy until the paramedics or the firefighter took him from me.
And we've learned the child's mother unfortunately died as a result of her injuries. We are working to get more information from Apex Police.
Today, the White House is expected to hold another round of negotiations with top Republican lawmakers as the U.S. inches closer to hitting its debt ceiling. This is a live look this morning at the U.S. Capitol building. House lawmakers are currently in recess. They left yesterday without a new deal on the table ahead of the holiday weekend. But late last night, a GOP aide said there could be a chance that there's a deal to come soon. There's still nothing set in stone. Negotiators are warning that these crunch time conversations will be the most difficult as the deadline looms. The U.S. could default on paying its bills as early as next Thursday.
Coming up, Elon Musk's new brain chip company gets FDA approval. We'll explain how this method will help people with severe paralysis. That's next.
Also, a new trailer is dropped for Barbie, and it looks like she and Ken are hitting the road. That's coming up next.
Today stays dry and cool and windy, but tomorrow's even windier. It's a WRAL weather alert day. It looks like we could see heavy rain for most of the day. I'll show you the timeline coming up.
Welcome back. Take a look at this. Not really what you want to see heading into the holiday weekend. This is a live look at Carolina Beach. You can see some raindrops on that camera already. You're watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. And that picture right there is what's to come, especially for tomorrow, Elizabeth.
Exactly. We have a WRAL weather alert day for tomorrow. The rain's going to be the biggest issue, but the winds are going to be something to deal with as well. 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts. For reference, when we have severe thunderstorms coming through, the criteria is 58 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts or stronger. So this is not likely to cause a lot of wind damage, a lot of trees to be down, but there could certainly be some limbs down and that sort of thing. Flood risk is going to be most likely our biggest threat, especially for our southern counties, and it's going to be chilly. Temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s for highs tomorrow. Here's a look at the big picture. Low pressure system right now sitting here. Ahead of that low, there's plenty of rain. That rain is already falling along the coast, but we're not likely to see much of it here. We have a dry air mass in place and a high pressure system to the north. It's going to hold it right there on the coast for the rest of the day today. And eventually that low will move far enough north that that rain will begin to spread up into our area. That's going to start by tomorrow morning. The low itself will continue to move northward. And as it does, it's going to push the rain northward and westward. So we're going to see rain from the beaches all the way to the mountains. But by Sunday, watch how it begins to ease up just a little bit. The heaviest rain, excuse me, is definitely going to be Saturday. The new runs of the computer models are starting to look slightly drier on Sunday. That just means it may not rain all day long. And then again on Monday, watch what happens Monday afternoon, evening. You can see that rain starts to fire up again, but it may be drier for the first half of the day. Let's talk about today. This is, of course, a look at our high resolution model. A lot of cloud cover today, but it's not likely to be wet. Yesterday, we ended up with the potential for some light rain down in our southern counties earlier. Now we're looking at a better chance of rain tomorrow morning. That's when it's likely to start. At lunchtime, it's going to be pretty heavy in places. Those yellow color contours are heavy rain, not severe thunderstorms. We're not looking at severe storms with this system. There's 5 o'clock rain, there's 11 o'clock rain, all the way into first part of the day on Sunday. But then watch this. This is a kind of a first look at our high resolution model for Sunday, and the precipitation coverage is fairly light. If we continue to see more runs of the model that show light rain, then we could probably go ahead and start to drop that chance of rain a bit on Sunday. I don't think we'll take it out completely. Right now, it looks like through Saturday, easily we could see 2 inches around the triangle, maybe slightly higher in a few places down to the south, and closer to 1 inch near the Virginia line. By the time we add Sunday and Monday to that, we're looking at as much as almost 3 inches in some places and closer to 2 inches up near the Virginia line. So definitely some significant rain coming our way even after Saturday. We do have that flooding risk, of course. We also have the potential for some really strong winds, dangerous rip currents along the beaches, and beach erosion. There's a small chance that this has some tropical characteristics, but it's not likely to become a tropical system by any means. A chilly day tomorrow, 61. We're at 71 Sunday, 76 on Monday. Finally, by the middle of next week, we start to dry out and warm up back into the 80s. Anthony?
And as we head out to the roads this morning, Elizabeth, we're looking great here actually to the major city of Durham. Let's check in on those drive times right now. Just a slight delay there, about 1 to 2 minutes here in some spots, but pretty negligible. Honestly, there's not any big red marks showing up here on the sensors, which is saying that we're good to go here for the most part. We head to the city of Raleigh as well. Just a slight delay, US 1 south from Wake Forest. That's about a 4-minute delay at this point. There are several crashes, though, to report here. Let's talk about some of those at this point, or at least the I-40 delays. Then I'll show you those crashes here in a second. Looking good. Everything in the green at this point. We did have that earlier crash, I-40 at Rock Quarry Road. That has since cleared up, which is great. One to talk about here, though, US 401 at Tryon Road. This one is not causing any big backups, but we will continue to watch it here and have another update for you in just a little bit.
Thanks, Anthony. There's outrage in Mississippi, and it is growing after an 11-year-old boy called 911 for help, and he was shot by a responding police officer. Protesters gathered for a rally outside Indianola City Hall yesterday. They want accountability for the officer who shot Adarian Murray at his mother's home Saturday morning. Murray had called 911 because of a domestic situation involving his mother and the father of one of her children. An arriving officer shot the 11-year-old boy as he came out of a bedroom.
He asked me in the hospital, why they shot him. He was in good spirit, but every now and then I look over at him and he'll just cry.
The boy suffered a collapsed lung, lacerated liver, and fractured ribs. He's now back at home recovering. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is looking into what happened.
We have new details this morning about Cumberland County residents and property taxes. The Cumberland County manager presented the proposal hours ago. It recommends leaders keep the county's current property tax rate in place. Big ticket items include moving forward with a new Crown Event Center, designing a new center to support the homeless, and improving some of the county's water systems. There will be several more meetings to discuss the budget through the middle of June.
Brain chip implants are advancing. Just hours ago, Elon Musk's company Neuralink announced that it's been given the green light from the FDA for human trials. Now, the idea is not to microchip humans. That could be a real life breakthrough here for patients with brain injuries and other degenerative diseases like ALS. It's designed to use brain signals and translates them into commands for devices like computers or iPads. So, for example, patients with severe paralysis, we just mentioned ALS there, people with similar degenerative diseases, they'd be able to communicate with loved ones by moving cursors and typing with their minds. The extent of the FDA approval is not yet known, and patient recruitment for clinical trials is not open yet. But we'll keep you posted because it's interesting.
Well, happening now in the Live Center, we want to give you some new video of a story we've been following all morning of a man opening an emergency hatch on an H&N Airlines. Well, check it out. This is brand new video into our newsroom of this aircraft. When this happened, you can see the open door right there, people gripping their armrests, I'm sure just terrified about what was happening. Investigators say the aircraft was about 700 feet in the air, about 2 or 3 minutes from landing. Now you get another look at what that situation was like. Police say that man is now in custody. He confessed to opening that door, and you can see investigators trying to figure out exactly what happened. But terrifying moments for those passengers aboard that aircraft.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken. A new video game set in the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth features a very different protagonist. Rick Damigella explains in today's Talking Tech.
Gnaws iron, bites steel, grinds hard stones to meal.
No elves, dwarves, or nasty little hobbitses to play as here. The Lord of the Rings Gollum casts the player in an unlikely role.
My precious.
This is a really cool idea. The Lord of the Rings Gollum is a very interesting take on this character that has been central to all kinds of tales across Tolkien's work. And it's a story that takes place between the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
The Dark Lord, what did you tell him?
Nothing.
Players get to experience both sides of Gollum's personality.
So we get to follow Gollum and Smeagol, because he's a character with two personalities, and we see his desire to retain and regain his precious. It's a stealth action adventure game, which fits. Gollum is a guy that likes to slink in the shadows.
Must stay in the shadows.
Gollum himself is a lot more cartoony, a lot more stylized. It makes him a little bit more sympathetic. There's an innate empathy that I think Gollum kind of expects from the reader or the viewer anyway, because he's a tortured soul. He does some horrible things, but he's been through a lot, you know? And so I think it's pretty interesting that we get to control this character and kind of see the world through his eyes.
We must find help. He mustn't see us. No, not him.
Searching for my precious in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
The Lord of the Rings Gollum is available today for Windows, Xbox, and PlayStation consoles.
A man is alive after spending 5 days trapped at the bottom of a ravine in the state of Washington. Officials say he is severely injured after his car fell nearly 150 feet. Firefighters say they got a report about the location and hiked through waist-deep brush to reach him. They say when they got there, they were surprised to find the car was on its wheels and the man was alive. He's been getting treatment at a hospital in that area.
She's a Barbie girl heading to the real world. Sorry, I had to do it. A newly released trailer for the upcoming Barbie movie gives us a closer look at what to expect. Barbie is living a perfect life in the idyllic Barbie land. She then notices some things are not as perfect as they used to be. She's then given a choice of the real world or the dream life. It becomes even more apparent the silly film doesn't take itself all that seriously. The movie hits theaters July 21st. Interesting. I saw the trailer yesterday. I mean, it looks cute, but it's one of those things that you go at and you're not going to take it very seriously, right?
If you're thinking about going to see it, don't watch the trailer. Just go see it. There's a lot of pink going on there and a lot of satire, I have a feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I used to play with Barbies when I was younger. So to me, this is like nostalgic, going to see Barbie, and Margot Robbie is beautiful, and Ryan Gosling, the whole thing. It's all great, but I don't know. Looks interesting.
We'll see.
I don't think he's going to go see it.
Not a chance. COVID is spreading once again in China. So still ahead, we have details on the latest surge as officials track the rising cases heading into the summer.
And expect a lot of traffic when you get out and about today, coming up when experts say the roads will be the most crowded as we head into the holiday weekend.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio in Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good Friday morning. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. All eyes on the weather heading into this holiday weekend. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has been tracking everything. A look at Chapel Hill. Not raining yet, but it'll rain tomorrow.
Today is going to be cloudy, cool, and breezy. This is a live look at all the cloud cover in Chapel Hill, and we can sort of catch some of the trees moving around as well. It's going to be a gusty day today. That's already starting up. A cool start this morning. Temperatures in the mid-50s, climbing to around 60. It's going to be great weather for exercise, especially starting around lunchtime. It'll be close to 70. We'll hold it around 70 this afternoon. The only real thing is it will be windy. We're not looking at any sunshine today. And of course, we do see the cloudy conditions. Tomorrow, of course, the WRAL Weather Alert Day. We'll talk more about that coming up on Fox 50. Anthony?
And Elizabeth, here as we head into, of course, this busy holiday weekend, we continue to watch the traffic closely as well. Looking fairly good here at this point. No major backups to report, but this is a live look right now. I-40 at Airport Boulevard. Certainly going to anticipate some increase in that traffic, I would think, as people are traveling later this afternoon, but looking good. Current I-40 delays looking great as well. No big backups there, but they're all in the green. We will continue to watch it, though, closely here as we go throughout this morning.
All right, thanks, Anthony. A woman died after a house fire in Franklin County. It happened on Harris Way near Franklinton just before 10 o'clock last night. Investigators are still working to determine how the fire started. And more people are traveling this weekend, and most of them will be on the road. According to AAA, the average price of gas is $3.30 per gallon. If you are driving to your holiday destination, the worst time to be out on the road today is this afternoon from 3 to 6. Coming up next for us on Fox 50, what to do if you have car troubles while traveling for the holidays. And then next on Today, how senior residents are celebrating senior prom for the very first time.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news out of Franklinton, where a woman is dead after a house fire. What we're learning about what crews encountered at that scene.
And tomorrow is a WRAL Weather Alert Day due to our risk for flooding, but that's not the only thing that we'll have to deal with tomorrow. I'll walk you through the day coming up.
It is going to be a record day for people driving as they're heading out for Memorial Day weekend. Coming up, I'll tell you when you should hit the road.
8:30 is the time right now on our Friday morning here of a holiday weekend straight ahead of us. So glad you're making us part of your day. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. A lot of people going out of town this weekend. They're flying, they're driving. Naya's going to tell you the best times to leave and the times to avoid. That's coming up. But we have to tell you about your weather forecast first this weekend. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has been tracking the weather so closely because, Elizabeth, you know a lot of people want to enjoy the weekend, but unfortunately, it's going to be a rainy one.
And if you've been watching the last few days, you know that it's going to be a messy weekend, especially Saturday. It's going to be windy. We'll see gusts up to 35 miles per hour. We have the flooding risk, and it's going to be chilly Saturday. Temperatures upper 50s to low 60s for highs. This is a look at our flooding risk, and the Weather Prediction Center pushed the level 2 down to the south a little bit. This is going to be a medium risk for flooding. This is not a risk for severe storms. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of heavy rain for us, up to 2+ inches. Today, we're looking at a lot of cloud cover. We're going to see those clouds increasing. We're going to see those clouds streaming in from the coast as we get through the day today. It's not likely that we're going to see rain until tomorrow. We start to see those waves of rain moving in first thing in the morning. And you can see the yellow color contours. We are not looking at severe thunderstorms here, but just heavy rain on and off. We may see a few breaks in the clouds or breaks in the rain as we get through the evening, but that rain generally continues all the way into Sunday morning. And then, of course, our first look at our runs for Sunday are looking a little bit drier. If that continues, we may be able to back off those rain chances on Sunday, but we'd like to get a few more runs under the belt to make sure that that's not just, an anomaly or just, a random, tease from the models. Saturday and Sunday and Monday, we're going to see, again, a chance of some scattered showers. It's going to be a breezy day for us today. You can see the whirly gigs already spinning around out there. 57 is our current temperature, and our winds are going to be gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour this afternoon. It stays cool today with that northeasterly wind. We'll see a high of just right around 70 degrees under mostly cloudy skies.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Following some breaking news this morning, a woman is dead after a house fire in Franklin County. It happened on Harris Way, that is right near Franklinton. WRAL's Keenan Willard was at the home and has new information for us this morning.
The Franklin County Sheriff's Office tells us 81-year-old Bertha Crudup died after being trapped in this home in Franklinton after it became engulfed in flames. The Sheriff's Office tells us they were called out here just before 10 o'clock last night, found flames coming out from the windows and doors of this home. They were able to kick through the front of the home and found Crudup lying on the floor, unable to walk with severe injuries. They say that they dragged her out of the home and tried to perform CPR, but unfortunately the woman died from her injuries. A small dog that was also trapped inside also died from burn injuries. Now, at this point, they say that no foul play is suspected. They don't believe this fire was in any way intentionally set, but fire investigators are continuing to work to determine how exactly the fire started inside of this home. We did speak with a few of Crudup's relatives who were here on the scene. They declined to speak with us about this situation. Keenan Willard, WRAL News.
You want to prepare yourself for that added traffic out on the roads today, and WRAL's Nia Harden explains what you can expect at the gas pump as well.
Well, at the gas pumps, you can expect people to be out filling up their tanks as they're likely getting ready to head out today. More people are traveling this weekend, and most of them will be on the road. AAA reporting this morning the average price of gas in the state is $3.30 per gallon. Now, if you are driving today, AAA suggests leaving in the morning before noon or any time after 6 o'clock tonight. The worst time to be on the road is going to be this afternoon between 3 and 6. While there will be a record high of people traveling, Gas Buddies says you shouldn't see a surge in gas prices. Drivers are cutting back and will spend $1.6 billion less on gasoline compared to this time last year.
Gas prices tend to peak not in the summer driving season, but before the summer driving season. So if it's a normal year, gas prices shouldn't get back up to the levels that we saw in April. That's the good news. But of course, as we progress now, we're on the cusp of hurricane season starting. Hurricane season can have an impact on gas prices.
And if you're looking for the lowest gas prices where you are, you can go to the WRAL News app, search the words fuel tracker. We'll have that for you there. Nia Harden, WRAL News in Garner.
So with all the increased travel on the roads, it means more vehicle problems. And AAA predicts it'll rescue more than 480,000 stranded drivers this weekend. That's across the nation. The three most common reasons are flat tires, dead batteries, and people getting locked out of their cars. If you notice something is wrong while you're driving, safely pull over at the next exit or safe stopping point. If you do have to stop immediately, try to get as far off the road as possible. Turn your hazard lights on, remain in the vehicle. If you do have to get out for any reason, always watch for oncoming traffic.
And from the roads to the skies, this is a live look outside of RDU International this morning. It's going to be another busy day at the airport as travelers hit the skies for the holiday weekend. Travel is expected to be 20% higher than last year, with more than 225,000 travelers expected between today and Tuesday. The TSA does have a goal of getting passengers through security in 30 minutes and pre-check in 10 minutes.
And Michelle, we know how long and how busy it will be at RDU International, but we wanted to give our viewers a different perspective here in the WRAL Live Center. This is a live look inside one of the terminals at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. We've been looking at this line for the last few minutes or so, and that line has not stopped. It's been absolutely constant. Right now, Atlanta Hartsfield is reporting about 2.1 million passengers will pass through this airport between today and Thursday. Of course, a number of flights departing RDU International connect through Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. So if you have a flight planned for the day or throughout the Memorial Day weekend, be sure to check the status of it before heading to the airport.
Always a good idea, Ken. Thank you. Happening today, more protesters plan to gather, pushing back against North Carolina's new abortion law. The group will rally in Nash Square, including speakers, followed by a march. The Fight the NC Abortion Ban protest begins 7:30 tonight. GOP lawmakers recently overrode Governor Cooper's veto on the ban that limits abortions at 12 weeks. North Carolina's previous ban was 20 weeks.
And a 6-week abortion ban is now law in South Carolina. That's before many women and girls even realize they're pregnant. Governor Henry McMaster signed the new controversial bill into law less than 24 hours ago. It includes exceptions to save the patient's life and for fatal fetal anomalies. There are also limited exceptions up to 12 weeks for victims of rape and incest. Planned Parenthood and some physicians already filed a lawsuit against this law. Before North Carolina's new restrictive abortion law passed this month, the state was considered a haven for abortion care in the Southeast.
Today, the White House is expected to hold another round of negotiations with top Republican lawmakers as the U.S. inches closer to hitting its debt ceiling. This is a live look this morning from outside the U.S. Capitol building. House lawmakers are currently on recess. They left yesterday without a new deal on the table ahead of the holiday weekend. But late last night, a GOP aide said there's a chance that there's a deal that could come soon. Still nothing set in stone. Negotiators warn that these crunch time conversations will be the most difficult as the deadline looms. The U.S. could default on paying its bills as early as next Thursday. Sports betting is on the rise among young adults, and coming up, why some experts warn the trend could lead to problems both financially and mentally.
And Disney's latest live-action movie hits theaters today. A look at the new film expected to draw big crowds this holiday weekend, especially because of that rain.
And we give you a live look out at the DBAP right now. Durham Bulls Athletic Park and meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking this weekend's rain. We have your latest forecast and what it includes for the holiday weekend in just minutes. .842 is the time right now. This is a live look at Wrightsville Beach, and you can see they got some rollers coming in right there, and it looks like it might be spitting a little bit of rain. Something that we will have to get used to in the next few days, all the way back here in the Triangle. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. We saw that shot of Carolina Beach just a little bit earlier. I mean, it looks like it's raining already there.
Yeah, down there at Carolina Beach, Wrightsville Beach, they can see 4 to 6 inches of rain, some beach erosion, definitely high rip current danger. So especially for, say Cape Lookout southward, it's going to be really messy and somewhat dangerous along the coastline over the weekend. We're looking at windy conditions tomorrow, 30 to 35 mile per hour gusts. Of course, we have a flooding threat, especially in our southern counties. It's going to be chilly too, just chilly, wet and windy tomorrow. Highs upper 50s to low 60s. This is a look at our flooding threat. It's a medium threat from Raleigh southward, where we could see up to 2 inches of rainfall on Saturday, up to 1.5 inches in our northern counties. So not that big of a difference. So no matter where you are, you're going to be seeing a lot of heavy rain, and we could have some flooding, especially places that tend to flood often. There's going to be some ponding on the roads, that sort of thing, with all this heavy rain Saturday. Here's a look at the current situation. This is our low. It's a coastal low moving up the coast. It's going to make landfall, move inland around say South Carolina, and continue to just wander around through the weekend, continuing to bring us a chance of rain. But Saturday by far looks like the wettest day for us in our viewing area. It's cloudy right now. We'll continue to see the cloud cover streaming in from the east, moving westward for the next few hours. We're looking at rain in our forecast for Saturday. There's Saturday at 8 a.m. Pretty good coverage already by 8 a.m. You can see some yellow color contours, not severe storms, just heavy rain out of this. Some windy conditions, but again, we're not looking looking at severe thunderstorms. That takes us through 5 o'clock, but we continue to have more waves overnight. There's 10 o'clock all the way through early Sunday morning. Now, this version of Futurecast is showing much lighter precipitation during the afternoon on Sunday, but not all the models are in agreement with this. So we're going to continue to watch that. We may start to pull those numbers down a little bit on Sunday, but that low is still going to be lingering. It's still likely that we're going to have some scattered showers on Sunday and Monday, but not as heavy as Saturday for sure. Windy forecast Saturday, gusts 30 to 35 miles per hour. Saturday's chilly with a high of 61, 71 Sunday, and 76 on Monday with a decreasing chance for rain as we get into Sunday and Monday. But again, still pretty messy for us. The beach forecast, especially our southern beaches, again, high rip current danger, heavy rain, 4 to 6 inches. Temperatures along the coastline likely to be in the mid 70s. Weekend mountain forecast, that rain arrives around lunchtime or so tomorrow, and it's likely to be heaviest during the day Sunday, and then it begins to back off a little bit on Monday. So that's a little bit different than what we'll see here, but you can't go anywhere in the state without seeing the rain this weekend. Windy already there in Wilson. Look at those whirligigs moving along. Right now our temperature is 57, and we're looking at temperatures in the low 70s through the afternoon, no matter where you are. Our winds will be gusting today up to 25 miles per hour. Once we get past Tuesday, this low finally moves on out, leaves us alone. We're back to dry and warmer conditions on Wednesday and Thursday.
2 food truck rodeos and an anime convention are among Out and About's top picks for this weekend. WRAL lifestyle editor Kathy Hanrahan has details to help us all plan our weekend. Starting off, Kathy, with that Animazement.
This is such a cool event. Okay, Animazement is an annual convention that celebrates Japanese culture and animation. It's happening through Sunday at the Raleigh Convention Center. Now, the costumes are one of my favorite parts of this event. So much creativity. They also have music, educational panels, lots of vendors, and you can still get tickets, and it's indoors, so you can't beat it.
Right, can't beat it with this weekend weather coming on here. Saturday, I love a good rodeo, especially if there's food trucks involved. That's happening in Durham.
And it's happening rain or shine. The Taste of Soul NC Food Truck Rodeo is happening over at Durham Central Park on Saturday. A variety of food trucks and local merchants, a bounce house, DJ, admission is free, and they're still happening. I just checked.
Okay, good. Yeah, and folks will want to check back. Also, Sunday we may have a better chance. People can indulge their sweet tooth at another food truck rodeo in Raleigh this time.
This is a really fun one if you love sugar. The NC Sugar Rush Dessert Food Truck Rodeo is Sunday from noon to 5 p.m. in City Plaza. Also happening rain or shine. Tons of desserts, pineapple smoothies, beignets, cookies, peach cobbler, cookie dough. I mean, the list goes on. Admission is free.
And who doesn't? Even the dogs love
Even the dogs.
sugar. Right? Just take the kids early so you can get them to calm down a little bit. There are just a few ways right there how to get out and about this weekend. For a full list of ideas, you can go to WRAL.com and search Out and About. Kathy, thank you.
NC Sugar Rush, that's my kind of party right there. I like that. All right, a new survey shows sports betting is on the rise among young adults. More than half of those people surveyed said that they had placed at least one bet. 6% said they have lost more than $500 in one day. And one specialist says you have to pay attention to the early signs of addiction.
I would say about half of them may have serious problems with gambling, or at least repetitive gambling that may end up causing significant challenges later on in their life.
And here in North Carolina, the state's version of sports betting is moving forward with some changes. If it becomes law, it would allow betting through apps for people in North Carolina starting next year.
A 3-day festival is happening in Minneapolis commemorating the life of George Floyd and continuing the call for change. Community members gathered last night for a candlelight vigil to honor Floyd on marking the 3rd year since his death. It was part of the George Floyd Global Memorial's Rise and Remember Festival. Dozens of people gathered in unity, and speakers touched on the impact of Floyd's death at the hands of the Minneapolis police officers.
The leader of the far-right Oath Keepers militia will spend up to 18 years in prison for his role in the January 6th riots. A federal judge issued the sentence to Stuart Rhodes yesterday. Rhodes was convicted in November on seditious conspiracy charges. When issuing his sentence, the judge said the Oath Keepers would not have been at the Capitol on January 6th if it weren't for Rhodes' leadership. The judge said that equates to domestic terrorism.
This morning, the U.S. is keeping close watch on a wave of COVID infections in China. Health officials there say it could bring as many as 65 million cases per week by the time the surge peaks. In June, this new virus data comes nearly 6 months after China lifted its strict COVID restrictions. As of right now, U.S. officials have not issued any travel restrictions.
The U.S. population has gotten older in the past 2 decades. New Census Bureau data shows that the median age of people living in the U.S. rose from 35.2 in 2000 to 38.8 in 2020. Baby boomers and millennials represented the 2 largest age groups in the U.S. in 2020. People over 65 represent nearly 17% of the U.S. population. The Census Bureau reports that fewer children than average were born between 2010 and 2020. And that's also contributing to the increase in the median age. And as the summer travel season heats up, American Airlines says a computer program is helping it avoid widespread flight delays during weather events. The program is called HEAT. American says it calculates how incoming weather will affect flight schedules, gates, passenger connections, and crew schedules. It then helps the airline reorganize flight departures so they don't all bottleneck and create even bigger delays.
Anything we can do to reduce delays, reduce cancellations, means that the entire line of flying can happen more effectively throughout the day.
American Airlines says the programs helped it avoid nearly 700 weather-related cancellations last summer.
The 82nd Airborne Division celebrated its last pass and review at Fort Bragg. 19,000 paratroopers lined Pike Field on post Thursday. The division review is one of the final events during All-American Week. This year's theme was Honor the Past, Jump into the Future. Commanders told the soldiers, while the name of the post is changing, the legacy of the 82nd Airborne Division will always remain the same. Fort Bragg officially becomes Fort Liberty June 2nd.
A top cancer researcher from the UNC School of Medicine has been named the recipient of the prestigious 2023 Oliver Max Gardner Award. Dr. Shelley Earp is leader of the UNC Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center and UNC Cancer Center. The award recognizes faculty who have made, quote, made the greatest contribution to the welfare of the human race. It's the highest honor conferred on faculty by the Board of Governors. The Gardner Award has been around since 1949.
People in western North Carolina have been feeling a series of earthquakes. The latest was a 2.4 magnitude earthquake centered north of Canton just before 6:30 last night. That happened. It follows a 2.6 magnitude quake in the same area on Tuesday. There have also been a 2.1 and a 1.9 magnitude quake in the western part of the state in recent weeks.
One of the most exciting Sundays in racing is this weekend. You can catch the Indy 500 on WRAL. It begins at 12:30, and catch the Coca-Cola 600 from Charlotte on Fox 50 at 6 o'clock.
Disney's live-action version of The Little Mermaid opens in theaters today. The movie stars Halle Bailey as Ariel and Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Film experts say they expect it to make a big splash in the box office this holiday weekend. It is projected to bring in between $100 and $125 million.
Perfect weekend to go see a movie, too, right? Yeah. A North Carolina mom vying for the official title of Super Mom. Rezia Adams is competing against hundreds of moms across America for this title. She has 6 kids, and she says she skateboards, she ice skates, and wake surfs, all while wearing her hijab. Look at that. Although we know all moms are super moms, if Rezia wins, she says she wants to use her victory to remove stereotypes against and about Muslim women.
This would be an incredible opportunity just to shed some light, create awareness, educate, and hopefully break through those barriers that exist, you know, between the Muslims and the non-Muslims. And
that right there makes her a super mom. The contest is being sponsored by a nonprofit called DT Care. It aims to help disadvantaged communities around the world. We have more information online at WRAL.com. What a fantastic mom.
Hey, isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's fun. And she's pretty athletic, too. Amazing. Before we go to break, look at the winning lottery numbers for you. And we will get another check on weather and traffic when we come back.